Hey, chicks, let's chat. So listen, my cousin made a post, and it just reminded me, that we really are very much desensitized to death these days. And I remember it was a time when, especially black people, we really, really, really had a big respect for death and when people died. And there were certain things that we did, and you know, it even changed the way we spoke. Something about a person dying or us finding out that they were on their deathbed, or it even would change the tone of your voice. Automatically, you start, oh, for real? Well, what happened? You automatically lower your tone as a sign of respect and engagement and empathy, you know, and sympathy. And nowadays, the level of respect for people dying is just not there. And I began to notice it a few years ago, but I believe it was, so my cousin's post was, Plies was complaining about TMZ getting the 911 recording of the girlfriend who called and reported, Rich Homie Quan being, dead on the couch or whatever. And he made a good statement, because who think just the, oh, let's call and get the recording, at the point where you calling to report that somebody is not breathing, or that's such a sensitive and sentimental moment that to just automatically think, even if that is your business, to automatically just so quick just think, oh yeah, let's call it and get the recording and play it for the world. That's very intrusive, but I understand they have a job to do as well. So I understand that, if they're in the media business, that's their job. But at what point, do you respect people and respect boundaries and respect, the fact that they're experiencing a death? At what point does that outweigh, whatever business transaction you're trying to, accomplish? And it's unfortunate. I think it's a mixture between us being desensitized and just not caring, right? Because these deaths happen, it seems like they just happen. It's so frequent. Every time you turn around, somebody is dying, whether it's a celebrity or whether it's someone in your family, or something. It seems like these deaths are just happening often. So a feeling of desensitization can set in when it's just becoming so natural and normal. And but also it's a situation where people just not caring about other people in the way that they should, and people just not having respect for life. And if you don't have no respect for life, then you definitely don't have no respect for death. And I noticed a couple years ago when people would start getting on social media and they would be popping bottles, like they'll do like the popping bottle, like when Jordan was celebrating the championship. Whenever they heard that somebody had died or got killed, they'll put the popping bottle emojis, and even all the way to going to people graveyards and grave sites and being disrespectful. A lot of the rap guys, y'all shoot videos at people, so-called grave sites. You set it up to look as if that's what you're doing. And it's just a level of just not caring, just not giving a blank, and not even considering that one day you may be in that situation. And it's not a if you're going to be in that situation, it's a when you're going to be in that situation, because either you or your family will be in that situation at some point in time. And people have to be careful to consider, because you know what, this family may be built from people who have a strong backbone and a strong sense of, hey, our faith gonna get us through this. But your family, when they start to experience it, they may not have that same backbone. They may not have that same strength of faith. And they may see something online or hear something online that make them want to do something bad to themselves, or make them want to do something bad to somebody else, and it still end up affecting them. But those are kind of things that people don't think about, And like I said, I know it was a time when we definitely, people of color, we really, really had a deep respect for death, and probably a deep fear of it too, because we were so scared of it. That made us respect it, But now it's like everybody's super tough, and ain't nobody scared of leaving here. So, the respect level has gone down. I mean, even to the point of, songs where you talking about people that you done, did stuff to, and, like basically making a mockery of people leaving. Where it don't matter what you felt about them people, those people belong to somebody. And the fact that you don't have enough common courtesy to respect that, is really weird to me. It's really just unfortunate. It just shows you a clear picture of the society that you're living in, and the time frame in which you're living. Things are not the same as what they once were. They're not, and it was another conversation that we were having online, because I guess one of the young ladies had posted some pictures. Soon as the guy passed, like, she started posting some, pictures of her and him, etc., so forth. So, there were people who thought that was disrespectful of her to do that. And so I, took a different approach to that. I feel like, who gives certain people a monopoly on that person? Like, unless you're married, like, I could see if you're married, right? And then as soon as your spouse die, here come his side woman posting pictures talking about they was just together last night, or something weird and disrespectful, right? I understand anybody being upset about that, because it's disrespectful. But like the conversation that I'm having right now, people are very disrespectful in death nowadays. So it's really not anything you cannot expect people to do. But what I was saying is that, if this person is not married to anyone, and then when they're gone, because we all know when people go, everybody loves them, everybody like them, start putting on like that a lot of times, you give more fame and clout in your death than support when you was living. That's backwards. But anyways, so I just didn't feel like, I didn't see nothing wrong with the girl posting who, whatever her pictures was, because who gives somebody a monopoly on that? That person had experiences, life experiences with them, just like anybody else could have had life experiences with them. So because you a girlfriend or something, that means nobody else had any memorable moments with that person. No, that don't mean that. Especially if that person had kids from other people. That person was, somebody who, hey, they moved around, they jiggulated a little bit. It's gonna be a lot of people who had memories with them that might want to post their memories, their pictures, their videos. Hey, however you choose to grieve, however you choose to grieve or share your moments or whatever, especially when they are a celebrity. You know, people, they be clout chasing, and you know, and everybody ain't necessarily clout chasing, but they just sharing their moments, you know. And like my one of my little sisters, she was like, well, that person was in the dark before, why come out now? And I said to that, well, who they was in the dark to who? Because just because you and this person, whatever y'all do, y'all keep it between y'all, that don't necessarily mean that it's in the dark. It means that y'all private. That's y'all business, you know. And whoever decides to leak it or tell people, that's up to them if they want to do it. Maybe that just ain't how y'all move. Okay, now they dead, so you got some pictures and videos or whatever you want to show, and you do that. Okay, I don't have no problem with that, because I don't feel like anybody has the monopoly on that. You know, that's just like saying, oh, well, his mama and daddy divorced, only the mama could show some pictures, or only the daddy could show some pictures. That's crazy. Like, no, everybody has had, you know, memorable times or memorable moments with this person or whatever. So if they want to share, they want to share, and if they don't have to. But I just think that that's one reason why a lot of times when death occurs in the black family, stuff get crazy. Stuff gets so crazy and out of hand, it's ridiculous. Why? Because we start majoring on a whole lot of minors. We start majoring on minors. We start overstepping boundaries. We start being disrespectful. We start just losing our rabbit a mind. Truth be told, we start wigging bad when it's a death, and a lot of that can be attributed to your emotions and what you're experiencing, what you're feeling at that time. And a lot of times we just don't handle those emotions well. You know, it's like you almost hate for a death to come, period, anyways, because now you got to deal with the loss. But you can bet your bottom dollar that it's going to be some mess, it's going to be some confusion, it's going to be some problems. I don't care if there is a will, I don't care if there is an insurance policy, I don't care if that person has done everything that they felt they need to do to line things up. It's going to be some type of problem. And I don't know if this happens in minority, in majority, like, you know, white people families or whatever. I don't know. But I don't even know if it happens in Hispanic families. I don't even know. But if you don't know, and if you a white person and you got any black friends, or if somebody has passed at your job or whatever, listen, you can rest assured that there is some commotion going on in their family soon as there's a death. It almost always happens when there's a wedding as well. But when there's a death, it is some foolishness going on in that family. And it's unfortunate, and like I could just only imagine when there's a celebrity involved, because then all that foolishness is just heightened. It's just even so much more of it then, you know. And I don't know, you know, I don't know when it'll ever stop, if it'll stop, because I don't even know what is the reason for it. You know, it's just all type of stuff start coming up and coming out, and it's like, this the wrong time for that. We can discuss that later. We could deal with that later. But now, you know, it's like nobody can agree on nothing. This person want them cremated. This person want them buried. This person want them, you know, dressed like this. This person want them dressed like that. Such and such done moved into their house already. They ain't even, you know, they ain't even cold. Yeah, and such and such done moved into the house, or such and such done started already getting stuff out of the house, and this, that, or the third. Like, people just start going ham, going crazy, doing all kind of foolishness. This person hiding this, and this person hiding that, and it just like, it's really a moment. It's really a moment in time when people die. You know, people will fall out. People will, and I ain't talking about what I heard. I'm talking about what I know, what I have been a part of, you know. And a lot of it is just emotions going crazy, but a lot of it is people just not agreeing with the process. You know, people not agreeing with what's happening, what's going on, how it's playing out, you know. And it's very hard to please everybody in those kind of cases, you know. It's hard to please everybody because what one person really want to do, somebody else really don't want to do it. And then everybody else may fall somewhere in the middle, you know. So it's good to, you know, have things written down, have them, you know, be able to have it talked about. Have it talked about, have it written down, you know. Make sure that the closest people to you really know what your heart's desires are. And that don't say they're going to do it. That do not say they're going to do it, because what I find is that people do what they want to do when it comes to you, right? You have to really have somebody close to you that their whole mission is to honor your wishes. Because other than that, some of your family, they're going to do what they want to do versus what the right thing to do, or versus what, you know, should be done. They're going to do what they want to do, or what they would want done with them. It don't have nothing to do with what you want sometimes. So that's why you have to put people in charge of your affairs that you know they're going to their best. To their best. They're going to carry out what your affairs are. And a lot of times those people can't be somebody that's kin to you. That's the sad truth. A lot of times it can't be somebody that's kin to you, because those are the people for sure going to do what they want to do and what they think they should do for you. Sometimes you have to get you a person that's outside of your family and say, listen, no matter what such and such say, because a lot of times you know the person who's going to get a pushback. You know the person who's going to have a problem. You say, no matter what this person say, this is how this is supposed to be done. And because you are not emotionally attached to my people, I know you'll be able to say, hey, this is what she said, do this, what I'm finna do. And that's just the, you know, that's just the reality of it. You know, you have to, sometimes you have to pick a strong person that you know, no matter who the strongest person in your family is, who's going to come against them, they're going to say, listen, hey, this was finna be done because this is what she's told me to do. I hear what you saying, but I got my marching orders from her, and this is what we finna do. You know, everybody ain't cut like that in your family. A lot of people will fall under the pressures of, you know, the people who can apply the most pressure. I know I'm probably a person who would probably be considered, hey, you can apply pressure. But I've learned now to not do that. Go with whatever. Go with whatever. Because that way you take you take that stress and that pressure off of you. And whatever is done, it won't be on you. Other people have to account for what was done, how it was done. You take it off of you. Don't fight it. Oh, such and such finna do that. That's how they finna move. Let them move just like that. Take it off of you. Because then you'll be having to deal with your own emotions about whoever. And then now you got to deal with how you feel about whatever it is that they're doing that you may not like or you may not disagree. That's too much to have to deal with during those moments of grieving. You know, so sometimes you have to do yourself a favor and take yourself all the way out of it. You know that ain't what that person would have wanted. You know that ain't how they move. But guess what? It's nothing that you could do about it if they didn't put you directly in charge of their affairs. So if they didn't put you directly in charge of their affairs, take yourself right on out of it and save yourself some emotions and headaches. Let them folk do what they do. That would be the best thing you could do. But sometimes that's the hardest thing to do. But in my mind, like, I had already removed myself from, like, if anything happened to my dad, I had already removed myself from, mentally, I already removed myself from feeling like I got to do X, Y, and Z. Make sure X, Y, and Z is taken care of. Or I had already removed myself from that. Why? Because I didn't want to have to contend with my sisters and his wife. So I have already told myself that whatever they do, I'm going with it. The only thing that matters to me is what we had going on while he was present and how we were. At the point of his demise, that part is done, and I let them do whatever they do with the rest, so that I don't have to be angry while I'm dealing with the grief of losing my father, right? Now, I ain't even lost my daddy yet, and don't plan on losing him for a while. But I have already started to make mental notes of certain things, because after losing my mom, now I understand the type of grief that you're going to be dealing with. And I understand that when you're dealing with that type of grief, you don't need to be dealing with nothing else. Because that thing sits on you hard. And I don't care what y'all situation was, it does not matter. That loss, waking up in life and not having the person who you've had all your life, that alone, that's a moment right there. Like, this person has been with me literally all my life. Because see, some of your friends and stuff like that, or your spouses or your partners, they haven't been with you all of your life. They jumped on the wagon, whenever they jumped on the wagon. But your parents have been with you from the start. They've been on earth. Even if they weren't present in your life, you still known that, hey, they was there or they was out there somewhere. They've been here before you. Same with your grandparents. Same with some of your aunties and your uncles. As long as you can remember, they've been here. So when you wake up that next day and to know that that person is no longer here, that is almost an indescribable type of feeling. So when you've been through it and you understand it, you know that during those times you don't need anything else to weigh heavy on you. Now, just as I had prepared myself to make those type of decisions, that, hey, I'm going to let them have that, then my daddy changed his will and made me the person who's going to make those final decisions. Right? But because we have always, with my dad, we have always had that talk, those conversations where I understand the things that's important to him. I understand the things that ain't really important to him. He like, hey, you need to have the VA pay for as much as they can pay for, because it's things they gonna pay for. Don't y'all put all your money in the dirt. Don't go down there with all your feelings and your emotions. Saying, yeah, he would like to give them the best of this, the best of that. Like, they're gonna beat you out your money if you go down there in your feelings. So you can't do that. And if it's certain things that other people want to do that this policy ain't covering, let them take it out their money and do it. Let them take it out of whatever money they supposed to be getting back. Let them take it out of their money and do it. So we've had certain conversations where I feel like, I could pretty much do it if I had to, or when I have to do it, I won't have an issue doing it, and I think I would be able to have enough openness to say, you know what, certain things I know he didn't worry about and I didn't care too much about. So if they want to do that and they want to do it that way, hey, I'm open to your suggestions and to let you do that, But when it comes down to being ridiculous and we're doing stuff that we've already said, hey, this don't really make that much sense to do this, then it's going to be a hard no. It don't make sense to do this, We ain't going to do that. But anyways, death is a hard thing for most people. And I don't care how much you talk about it, how much you plan for it. A lot of times, it still hits you hard. It still is a tough pill to swallow. But it's one of those things that, hey, we all have to have that experience. We're all going to experience somebody leaving here. We all going to leave here unless we get caught up, baby, when he comes, But I do think it's important to realize that, hey, in the moments where people grieve me, that we have to go back to having a sense of respect, and a sense of sympathy and empathy for people while they're grieving, because respect has just been lost totally when it comes to people. I remember when people was posting people all, laid out on social media, and stuff like that. Like, what? You don't want to see your loved one like that, and you don't want to hear about their death by seeing that picture of them laid out like that. Even stuff like people, filming your people while they're in the casket. Listen, if I didn't give you permission to do that, don't be disrespectful and do that. Because everybody don't want to wake up and see they, going through, scrolling down the timeline and a picture of auntie such and such in the casket. Everybody don't want to see that. Like, we got to get back to a time when we understand that everything ain't to be posted. Everything ain't to be shared on social media. It's different if y'all have a little family group chat or something, and it's personal, and y'all sharing that within the group chat or something. But sharing it on social media with a whole bunch of people who, a lot of them folk don't even much care about you. A lot of them people don't even like you. Like, what is the point? For what? But even with all that, you have to really understand that everybody not dealing with the same mindset as you. A lot of times people do stuff that is butt booking backwards, and they think that there is nothing wrong with it. They absolutely don't see anything wrong with it. So we always have to keep in mind that everybody does not think like you. They don't see things from your lenses. They don't have common sense to carry them across the street. Understand me? So it's easy to get mad and it's easy to be upset with some things that we see people doing, but you have to understand and keep in mind that everybody not moving from the same moral compass. Everybody not moving from the same expectations and high level of compassion, But it's lightning on this porch, so I'm finna get out of here because I don't play by no lightning now. Y'all have a good one.